Recording. Hello, my name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Yanique Bedward. She's helping female coaches achieve freedom and growth by managing everything behind the scenes. I'm super excited for you guys to be able to hear her message. She's all the way from Jamaica, so it's very great to be able to, get a great different perspective, especially during these cool times that we're in. Is there anything else you'd like me to add to the introduction, Yanique?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. I pretty much work on all the tech and team things for my clients. So I manage everything for them so that they can focus on just coaching, creating content, and developing new programs. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I would love to be able to learn a little more about what that entails and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. That's probably a really, really useful service.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So what got you into, this business and this field?
Okay, so I started out in 2016 and I was actually working at the bank before. I was working as an information specialist, an IT specialist. And that was when I was living in the Netherlands. And so I decided to move back to Jamaica and I started working for a very small company and I was doing office admin. And I realized that a lot of the things that I was doing was like organizing the business, creating processes I could actually do online. And so I started my online business as a virtual assistant, not an OBM, but as a VA. And then while working as a VA, I noticed that there are certain areas that my clients really struggled in. They were very much not organized to the point where they didn't even have work to give to me as their VA. They were struggling with project management, hiring, all of that. And so I wanted to up level. And that's when I decided to go more into online business management, because then I was able to do all of that for them. And I was more on it's more of a leadership role versus just a doing role as a VA.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the reason for that. I really wanted to work from home because I have kids now and I didn't want to be away from them all the time and just like doing the regular 9 to 5. So yeah, it worked out.
So that's interesting. So you work mainly with coaches or what is like the scope of all the people you work with?
Really, since day one, I've just found a niche with coaches, female coaches. I work with a few consultants, but I find that that's kind of the sweet spot for me. A lot of the coaches I work with, they're technophobes. They really don't like technology, but they're very passionate and very driven, and they want their business to succeed online.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I find that my skills really help them with all the technical things that they need to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you just a little bit deeper on that? So they're technophobes. So can you give me like an example of what you do? Say, for example, for me, I'm Bryce. I shoot videos every single day, work with clients on, Zoom and different things. What services would you help me out with?
Okay. So I'm going to say pretty much what I do for my clients. Once I start working with a client, the very first thing I do is we have a 90-day planning session. So that's when we plan what are the projects we're going to do for the next 90 days? What are the resources we're going to need? What's the budget? Really dive deep into what that will look like so that every month we know what we're focused on. We know who needs to be involved. We know what we need to prepare. And so that's one side of it. Another side is that I would be the one who would handle all the team meetings. So the weekly meetings where we're going over, what was done last week, what are some things that came up, how are we going to handle them? I'm kind of in charge of that. The client is also very much involved. I don't want you to get the impression that they're not, but it's kind of my responsibility to create the agendas, lead the meetings, send out any action plans from those meetings. and just manage a team in general. So the hiring, unfortunately, the firing, because that's a part of it, that's also on my plate. And when it comes to project management, it's my responsibility to get things in the project management tools. I create SOPs, standard operating procedures, for all those rinse and repeat tasks. And at the end of the day, I'm kind of just like a decision partner with the client. So now in this very unique time, there's a lot of decisions that need to be made. Should we do this live event? Should we, change it to digital? Should we postpone the launch? All of those things, I'm busy like meeting with my clients and talking things out and coming up with those plan A, plan B, plan C's, plan F, So that's pretty much an overview of the main things that I'm doing in the business. Yeah.
Right, so that sounds like operations manager mixed with like CEO and focus on marketing and coaching.
It is at the end of the day, and of course there's a technical bits as well. So I'm not so much focused on the implementation, but that is a part of what I do. It's more management, but if some things need to get done, like setting up sales pages and funnels and stuff, I can jump in and do that and help out the VA as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. What's the biggest team you've worked with?
I'm usually working with pretty small teams that involve max 4 people at a time. There's myself, the VA, maybe we have like a copywriter, but these people that you work with, they're not necessarily on the team full time. They're contractors. They do projects and then they leave.
Yeah. The most VAs I've had at one time was about, I think it was 9.5. There's like one I had like just does like social posts, and I was like, ooh, it was fun, man. When you get those procedures right.
Yeah. Once you have the SOPs, sorry, let me.
Gotta focus.
Yeah. Once you have the SOPs, that is a key. Like you can manage almost anything in your business if you have the proper systems in place. And that's actually one of my strong points and what I really love doing, like creating those SOPs and setting them up so things run smoothly. Because nobody likes these last minute things and balls are being dropped and people are forgetting what to do and, oh, how did we do this the last time? It's just, it takes up so much time, right?
Do you guys generally do those using videos for standard operation procedures or for like training, or do you usually do more documents for training and for procedures?
I usually do both because when you're doing trainings, if you only have a video, it takes up a lot of time for that VA to go through the video, pause, rewind, all of that. So they can just watch the video once and then follow the documented SOPs. So I do both.
Okay, cool. Do for I guess we can talk about that later. I was about to say for like handling like payroll and stuff, what systems do you use? But that's okay. Cool. So what is your vision for your business?
So one of the things that I actually want to do is to have more of an agency. So my thing right now is that I work with very few clients because I want to have an overview and be really plugged into that client's business. And if I'm working with a whole bunch of clients, it's very difficult to do that and give that high level of support. But I actually want to still keep my OBM clients to a minimum, but offer more implementation services to other coaches. So maybe, setting up, creating lead magnets, setting up opt-in pages, helping them launch a program, helping them create a program, things like that. So I'm thinking of offering a little bit more packages, implementation packages in the future, and having more VAs on my team. So perhaps in the future, I'll also have about 9.5 VAs like you. I do like the idea of having a team of women to work with.
Yeah. Plus, I like having VAs for like coaching and agencies because the profit margins are moderately great, so you don't really have to worry as much about, am I at 30%, gross, and then my operating is going to be able to squeeze by and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You can. I still prefer to work with VAs on this side of the world. They're a little bit more expensive, but I find that um yeah, I just prefer it. The time difference is not an issue. There's not a barrier, like cultural barriers, and
Mhm.
so it's working out fine for me so far.
That's cool. Yeah. That's interesting because it depends on the jobs you need, right? If it's like data entry, then it's like you don't really need it.
Yeah,
But if it's like
yeah,
copywriting and stuff like that, it's like, ooh,
yeah,
yeah, it's like, ooh.
yeah, yeah. It very much depends on the type of VA. There are some VAs who are really operating as OBMs, eh? They're working at a very high level where they're not waiting for you to tell them what to do. They know exactly what they need to do. They just need information and then they do their thing. And obviously they're gonna cost more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Yeah. Cool. What does success mean to you, or what does success look like?
Yeah, that is I thought about this question and I still don't even know if I have a proper answer to it. I guess success for me is when everything that I do is just in alignment with my values, my vision, and my mission. And if I have that alignment, I feel that that is success for me. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I've heard something similar before, so that's pretty cool. It's great. Wait, okay, so does that mean it's like success is as long as you are, in alignment, then you're always successful?
Yeah, I feel that. So, for example, I have a vision for my life in terms of my business, for my family, how I want to raise my kids, what I want my marriage to look like. All these things are pretty clear in my head. And once I'm acting and doing things to support that, which will like get me to that, then I feel that I am being successful. So it's not so much like a destination, it's
Mm.
more the little actions that I'm doing to kind of get me to where I see like as my happy place, I guess.
Yeah, cool. Makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. Um, I feel like there's a couple more things that I want to ask,
Sure.
but I can't exactly put into words right now. But I mean it's a really cool service that you have. What what's the most memorable, either fiasco or thing that you had to put out a bunch of fires?
Um, so funny enough, the first thing that came to mind is not, it didn't really have a super happy ending, but I learned a lot from it because I was working with this one client and she wanted to launch like multiple programs in the space of just 3 months. And so we were super, super busy.
Mm.
Um, Getting a lot of things done. The VAs are stressed out. I was stressed out, and at the end of the day, everything was just canceled. It was just like, forget it. We're not doing this anymore. And one of the main thing that I learned from that, I was a newbie OBM at the time, was that sometimes you really need to learn to say no. And this is why when I'm working with my clients now and I hear them say, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do this and we're going to do this and we're going to, I am not afraid to come in and say,
Yeah.
let's really break this down. So when we do this, this is going to require X time, X amount of money. How are we going to do this project and then do this at the same time? It really helped me to step into that leadership role because I realized that that's the best way to serve the client. Not trying to make everything happen, but actually, lead them towards something that's actually feasible. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
But Interesting. So do you work with clients that are more like creative based, and they happen to already have a lot of success when you come in? Now you're just organizing to help them scale, or are they mostly like ground based guys?
Yeah, so the ideal client is actually the first one that you just described. For an OBM, they have some success, and some people would say they have some success despite themselves. And then you need to come in and pretty much give them that support so that they can let go of things and get things off their plate. Because even though the money's coming in, they're usually very stressed because they're doing a lot of things they really shouldn't be doing. A lot of recurring tasks are still on their plate. They're not even enjoying their success. And so when you come in as an OBM, they can let go and really focus on, okay, what's my zone of genius? What is the thing that I need to be doing in this business that nobody else can do or should do? And then focus on that. And everything else can be delegated to someone else.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
as soon as you said that, a picture popped in my mind. My brother, he's a musician, right?
Mm.
Generally, if we're going to help him go put on a live show or get into different things, he has all these amazing things, and I have to be able to make it happen for him and like actually set things up. And it's always like, wow, But it's
Yeah.
interesting because like the more success they get, the crazier their ideas seem to get.
Yeah, and I mean, ideas are good. There's a big difference between myself and my clients. My clients are they're visionaries. They're driven by ideas and what's possible and how they can support their tribe. And I am more on the ground. I'm much more practical. Not that I don't have big visions, but I'm driven by making things happen, making things work, putting things like taking that vision and actually making that a reality. And
Yeah.
for that, you really do need to be a little bit more practical to let them know like that thing that you just described, it's amazing. But when are we gonna do that? Like not now. It's not a no, it's a yes, but not now.
Yeah.
And
Can
sometimes
you
you just
adjust your mic? I think it got bumped and now the volume went down a little bit.
oh, okay. Is it
Okay.
better?
Try it one more time.
Hello, hello, hello.
I can hear it, but it sounds muffled now. I don't know what happened.
I don't
Something
know.
happened. But it's
Nothing
okay.
changed.
It's okay. Let me pause real quick. Boom. Yeah. So it's interesting. It's almost it's like for a long time I was more like in the trenches too, like having to help them with things. But now that it's more at a coaching kind of standpoint, I have to be more up and higher level thinking. So it's always fun to be able to kind of see the differences in myself over the years. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And I do find that if you're a coach and you're doing everything,
Yeah.
it's very difficult for you to have that overview of your business and to focus on, you know, oh, where are the opportunities? How should I be positioning my business? What areas do I need to focus on, or where do I need to grow? Because you're only focused on what needs to get done, like on a daily basis. Like I said, those rinse and repeat tasks that really shouldn't even be
Mm.
your focus. And so it's very hard for you to drive your business towards the vision that you have for that business.
Mm. Let me ask you this. So if there's a coach that's watching that, has some pretty good success, what is the first thing that they should either outsource or get off their plate?
Um, so the first thing that I usually do with them is to look to see what systems they have. We do a systems review and analysis, and we look at what the repeatable tasks are. And if I can identify that there's a lot of those tasks on the client's plate, I would just start creating SOPs for that, delegating that. Maybe there's a gap in the team, why it's on their plate. So then you'd have to hire. There's a whole process involved in that. But the first thing is really to find out what's on their plate. Like, hey, what are you doing in your business, and free them up as much as possible. That's like the main thing. for me.
Mm.
Sometimes when making decisions, it comes down to, okay, this thing it might seem good, but is it going to give my client extra work?
Mm.
And if then that's the case, then I have to really sit down and think about how to go about it in a way that's not stressing them out even more.
Can
Yeah.
I ask you, this is a different kind of client, so I know this may not be who you work with usually. Let's say that there's a coach watching and
Hmm.
they're not really seeing much success, but they're still running around doing a million different things. How should they start to identify, what's working and, what is the most important thing?
Um, well, I mean, for coaches, I have a very good idea of things that they should be doing. And here's the thing. If they're not at a certain level where they need to have an OBM,
Mm.
it may be okay to bootstrap for a while. It may actually be beneficial for you to be doing things in your business.
Mhm.
Um, and if you know how to do it and you're creating those videos, creating those SOPs, like figuring out the repeatable aspects, then you can, go ahead and maybe hire a general VA to help you out for a while. The thing is, um, I feel like coaches can work with OBMs on projects,
Mhm.
but if your business is not there, it's not advisable for you to hire someone at that
So,
capacity.
so I more mean like, so from you working with people who were successful, right, already. If someone is not successful, but they're doing like a million different Facebook videos every single day, LinkedIn,
Ah,
and they're scattered, how would you advise them to start moving towards, successful?
okay. So I've actually been in a situation like that with clients before, and it does depend a little bit on the vision. What is it that they actually want to accomplish?
Mhm.
Um, and then I work with that. So I did have a client who the marketing was scattered. And so the first thing is obviously, let's just streamline this. Let's just see what content you already have, what can be repurposed, um, what systems, and then take it from there. It's not, I don't have templated thing where for every business I go in, this is just what they do. It really depends on the business itself,
Yeah.
the business owner, what's working, what's not working, and where they want to go. And then this is why I said I always start with a 90-day plan,
Yeah, it's always,
because
yeah.
yeah, because that will really I pull out a lot of information for that planning session, and from that planning session I create the 90-day action plan for them. So it's a very custom process.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Excellent. I really appreciate you coming on. Where can people go to learn more about you or even get your 90-day, session?
Yeah, they can visit my website. It's ansarvirtualservices.com. They can also find me on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I'm not really on Instagram. So really those are the three places: my website, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. If you want to spell her name when you're typing into LinkedIn or Facebook, it is Yanique space Bedward.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Um,
me.
yeah. Excellent. Thanks so much for, appearing and coming on. I really appreciate your time and expertise.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Bryce. This was really fun.
Excellent. Yeah, and if you guys are looking for more interviews of people who are, moving forward in their life, people who are, helping other people out and improving others' lives as well, I recommend you go join my group. There's going to be a link either above or below, depending on where you see this video. Have a great day. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video as much as we enjoyed creating it. Talk to you soon. See you later. And done in 3 and 2 and 1.